Great format for this rodeo, 2 rounds of competition. The top 8 come back for the semifinals. Only 4 of these guys will move on to the finals. Every time it's clean slate. Some great guys in there in the semis, including the legendary Clint Corey, who's headed to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, isn't that great? You know, 18 trips to the Wrangler National Finals. 3 times he's won this event here at Pocatello, a world champion. But he forgot to mention that to order up the Kessler boys. He gets hammered right out there.
The rank horses out in the semifinals here in the bareback riding. Scott Montague, Smokeless Sheep Tick from another legend, Harry Vold.
You know, Scott was a rookie in 1997, makes a great ride right here. He's 86 points, and he moves on to the top 4.
Montague's a cowboy that has been to 2 Wrangler National Finals rodeos, and it's the hair. He's had him pretty pumped up there in Pocatello. Cimarron Gerke would move on, dancing here with William from Ike Sankey.
You know, this is such a great veteran bareback horse. He's been to the Wrangler National Finals probably as many times as Clint Corey. Cimarron won Rapid City earlier this year on the tour. He's off and having a great year.
Paul Jones would not make the Final 4. Matched up here with Cool Alley from Kessler. Paul Jones, a cowboy that rodeos up in the wilderness circuit.
Well, Paul Jones was matched up with Cool Alley, and this is a horse that Billy Etbauer set an arena record on in the saddle bronc riding at DNFR. The way to do that, you have to have a ranked horse, and he was one.
Pistol Pete Hawkins, 6 trips to the Wrangler National Finals rodeo. Another ranked Kessler horse here in Alleyways Dip.
You know, Pete Hawkins, this is his kind of setup, Jeff. He took advantage of it on this horse. 85 points. He does move on to the top 4.
Alex Marashnikov now lives in California, the California circuit. 80 points, pretty good ride, but would not be good enough to move on.
No, he was just outside that top 4. Alex is an outstanding hand, stays around California, but when he gets in these competitions, he's very tough.
Zach Dishman got the honor of climbing on Gaddafi, who's on a retirement tour. This is the last year for this legendary bareback horse.
You know, Gaddafi has been here to the DNCFR every year they've had it. Hank Franzen bought that horse way back in the mid-'80s. What a great bareback horse.
Not good enough today, though, to move Zach Dishman into that Final 4. We've seen 3 of the guys that will be back for the finals. Here's the 4th, Jason Paris and Spring Fling, another great horse, this one from Big Bend.
Well, when Jason nodded his head, he knew he had to be at least 83 points, and Spring Fling was the horse to do it on. You could see the power right at the end of the ride. That's why she's been a former bareback horse of the year, but that's the kind of horse he needed.
The flying was easy, the landing that was hard, and there is Mr. Kessler with Pistol Pete Hawkins. And here are the Final 4 that move on. Montague setting the pace with an 86, but keep in mind, all these scores are thrown out. They start over in the finals. Also working with us here in Idaho is Pam Minnick.
Jeff, the Dodge National Circuit Finals Rodeo has not only made an impact on the Cowboys, but on the sport as a whole. For the past 18 years, the city of Pocatello has opened its arms to these athletes from across the United States. And this year, the DNCFR committee will be honored in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame in Colorado Springs.
Well, it is a great rodeo. Now we get into the finals of the bareback riding. Jason Paris will be the first to go. And these guys can maybe catch their breath a little bit on these horses, just a little bit easier.
Yeah, a little bit, but not much. Now, this horse, Will Lowe, won the 2 finales last summer. He won the Winter Tour finale and the Summer Tour finale in Omaha in this horse, Skyreach. And you can see why. What a fantastic horse. Turns back, box kicks. You know, when you've got this horse, you've got one you know you're going to have to bear down on, but this horse is pretty rider-friendly. They win a lot of money on Skyreach. What a great horse.
Jason Paris is left dizzy. He's 5'7", weighs 160. First trip to the Dodge National Circuit Finals for him. His rodeo idol is Mark Garrett, and he probably has a lot of love for that horse, too. Skyreach, 84, the score for Jason Paris. Let's go back to Pam.
Pete Hawkins' enthusiastic personality earned him the nickname Pistol Pete. His riding ability earned him 6 trips to rodeo's premier event and a Reserve World Championship. Here's a look at Pete Hawkins on the road to the Wrangler NFR.
Halfway through the first ride at the National Finals, I had a horse called, a Calgary horse called Wild Strawberry, just a nice jumping kicker. About 4 seconds through the ride, I was making a great ride. It just hit me. I'm riding at the National Finals rodeo. It was like, that's when it hit me. Strange enough, 4 seconds into the first ride, and I got off. I was 78 points, didn't win a check, but you thought I'd set a new record. I just felt so good. Like I'd accomplished something that, at that time, was probably one of my first goals. A long-term goal that I'd set as a teenager, and here I was at 20 years old. Riding against Marvin Garrett, Mark Garrett, Ken Lindsey-Graff, Wayne Herman, Deb Greeno, and that just got the blood boiling for me. I just knew that I belonged there. I knew I wanted to go there. And, you know, it's the epitome of our sport. You know, it's the Super Bowl, it's the World Series, all tied up in 80 seconds.
Best way to keep up with professional rodeo, the Wrangler Winter Tours, the Jack Daniels World Standings, go to prorodeo.com. 84 is the number to beat, and this may be a matchup that can do it. Pete Hawkins and Dippin' Broadway. What a great horse, 11 years old. Bucked at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo 6 times. In fact, Tom McFarland set the arena record here in Pocatello on this horse a year ago.
Oh, this is the horse they all want. This horse comes from Mike Sankey, the kind of horse you can be in the mid to high 80s on. We saw that, and Pete Hawkins is the kind of guy to do it. Now he knows he has to make a great ride, a perfect ride, and he does all of that and gets hammered after the whistle. But that's just from being exposed all that ride. What a great ride.
Well, you get these matches that you build up. You know, Pete Hawkins did his part, Dippin' Broadway did his part, and you expect that score to be way up there.
Well, and this is one of those horses, the hardest part about Broadway is drawing him. Once you do that, if you ride like Pete Hawkins, you own this place. But you know, all these top 4 horses, anyone can be at least this, but Hawkins right now, he's in the driver's seat because he just stuck a great ride on one.
2 guys out, Paris with an 84, Hawkins with an 87. Now to Cimarron Gerke, Smiling Cat. This is another horse from Kessler, and a young cowboy that's really finding his groove in pro rodeo.
You know, I'm impressed with Cimarron, and I'm impressed with Smiling Cat. Now here we go, Cimarron, look at the length of his spur stroke through the ride, how far he comes to the rig and how quick he beats the horse to the ground. You know, I'd hate to be sitting out there judging this event because we have seen now 3 super rides, and Cimarron maybe has the best one. Good aggressive ride, and I think this horse, if you compare it to Broadway or compare it to Skyreach, maybe a point or 2 better. Great horse.
Well, Cimarron's another tower of power in bareback riding, a new arena record, 91. He's 5'5", weighs 145. He was born in Brighton, Colorado, still lives there. He's got the lead, and the only guy that can unseat him now is Scott Montague, another horse from Kessler. This is Shooting Stars.
Well, you know, Scott Montague has just sat there and watched 3 great rides ahead of him. He knows he has to just absolutely open up. He's riding confident, but some problems early on in that ride. He rolled into his hand a little bit. That slowed one leg down, and the judges, I think, are going to notice this. A super ride. I'm not taking much away from it, but you'll see a mistake or 2 in here, and when you're trying to pick a winner, well, that's what you got to watch for. You can see right there. See how he's into his hand, and see how that kind of traps that right leg. It holds it down. He gets square. He opens up, finishes strong. A couple little bobbles, though, I think are going to cost him.
He was the Resistol Bareback Riding Rookie of the Year back in 1997. 87 is his score, so he'll split second place with Pete Hawkins. You can see the payout for the final round here. Cimarron Gerke gets the win, and he's with Pam.
Well, this matchup produced an arena record. You've got to be thrilled with that ride and this win.
Oh yes, it's great. I knew when I drawed him, I just knew I could win it on him. He'd be the one to do it on. I don't know, it's just a great feeling.
Total money for the bareback riders here at the DNCFR. Cody Jesse didn't get the win, but he walks away with the biggest check, a little over $12,000. And you can see Cimarron down there in 4th place with $5,276. The big guys take over when we come back.